Cheer. Montreal, my city. Welcome back to the morning Detour. Moon Chasers in here. We're celebrating Tata's birthday, but Tata's not here. So the cousin had to replace her. Vita's in the building. Subtle Savage. You know how we're doing things.
Family business.
I've waited for this interview for at least 4 years. I'm going to give you the backstory between me and this gentleman. I ain't going to give it to you too early. But this guy right here, man. I call him the most interesting man in Canada. That's his name on my phone. Legit. It's been that way for the last couple of years. He's known as Patrik Kabongo. He's an award-winning Canadian rapper-songwriter. He's known for his moody, sophisticated musical style. He's collaborated with major bands like TikTok, New Era, G-Star, Raw. His music is featured on plethora of platforms: Apple Music, NBA, NFL, MLB, BBC. You on BBC? Yeah. Radio 2? You on everything I want to be on. Some of his career highlights: debut EP Spadina came out in 2019. Guest appearances on YTV. Bro, you did everything, man. Over 430K streams off your last EP, High Impact 2020. Man, so many things this guy has done. He's reached number 9 on iTunes Canada Hip Hop Rap Chart Vita. He was featured in the NBA Finals and CBC Basketball docu-series. Bro, you did. So what? You the feature guy. You're the feature guy. He's super humble. He don't want to talk about that. So his recent projects released Tried to Sing a Song in 2023 and Dancing in a Room Like Strangers. I love that. Mm-hmm. Dancing in a Room Like Strangers. But you know, you a deep thinking dude, man. I like to welcome to the show to the more detail, my good friend PK. How you doing, PK?
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
You got the North Face plug. You didn't call me. You know what I mean? You did the NBA thing. You didn't call me. You know we affiliate with the NBA. I did the NBA trophy. I waited a long time to have this. You are one of the most interesting men in Canada. A couple years ago, we had a podcast called Basic Bullshit. Nobody's ever heard.
Never.
Some of the most introspective conversations ever.
I always bring it up in one of my favorite conversational moments, you know. And obviously with the passing of time, it left a mark, a necessary mark for like the type of conversations people should be having in this, like whether the social world or just in a plethora of places. But yeah, so I'm very honored to be here. I thank you so much for your patience over the last couple of years. But
yeah, you elusive. He's like Kate Trinata. I don't do too much interviews.
Oh man,
there isn't too much interviews, so I'm really excited about it, right? So let's jump into it. You've built a sound that truly is your own. You're blending different genres and influences. How has your understanding of your identity as an artist evolved over time?
What a great question.
And how do you stay true to yourself amidst the pressure of trends and expectations? I'm cooking today, Vito. I'm cooking this. I'm round treat today, boy.
I went to go see the mayor and came back. I'd say my creative identity changed a lot. I feel a lot of creatives can relate. I went from being a rapper to being an artist, and from being an artist to being a creative, and just expanding my palette, meeting different people, interacting with different people, and yeah, the accolades come, but you know, those moments don't really last because everyone is always trying to see like what's next, comparing to different things. And I think for me, what's been the greatest experience is actually enjoying the process more than the results. And I found a lot of change in that. So I keep my identity by remaining humble and thankful, praising the Most High through all the creative endeavors and the opportunities outside of, you know, music. And I'd say that's it, to be short and sweet, you know?
I want to talk about, you know, I have other questions, but I want to just double back to you being a creative. You're such a cognitive dude. You know, you don't talk too much. So it was weird when I saw you in that creative space. Do you have to go outside yourself because you have to talk a little bit more? You have to connect with a little bit more people. You have to sell the product or yourself a little bit more. And I know you to be a little bit more quiet. Yeah. So was there some kind of impediment doing that journey?
No, actually. I'm an ambivert. I choose to be an extrovert because the scenario requires me to. But if death had to choose, I'd be alone, you know? But
I co-sign that.
Vita's like,
you
like Vita. Vita's the key and shit. No. Vita's a special individual. Look out for our podcast coming out early March.
Oh, for sure.
Early March.
I'm with it.
I'm leaking everything on the Detour. We the worst. We like Hot 97. We're leaking everything.
No, and so no, it hasn't been difficult at all. I have an extreme imagination. Obviously, I tailor it a lot to my spirituality, my faith, which permits me to connect with things that I don't quite understand yet, but I get a vision of and try to kind of pursue that. And I just love learning. I know enough to know that I don't know enough, and communicating with different types of people just expands my palette. And so I think I'm a greater creative than I am an artist now.
Well, on that note, considering yourself an artist versus a rapper, do you think that gives you more room to grow?
Absolutely. Just because the term itself is already being out of the box, right?
Exactly.
If you think of, and pardon me for saying it this way, if you think of Black America, when you think of rappers, it's different than MCs, right? And you have MCs that are different from lyricists. A composer is different than a producer, but inherently they all do the same thing. And so for me, when I separated this idea of being a rapper, I became an artist, and from an artist I became a songwriter. And then from a songwriter I realized, oh, these are all different parts of what being creative is. And so I see myself as a creative more than I see myself as anything else.
Great segue. You know, Vita, man, you in your pocket lately,
she's
boy.
tough. Oh, come on,
Great
man.
segue. You've had the chance to collaborate with major brands like TikTok, New Era, North Face, notably. How do you navigate working with these brands while staying true to your identity as an artist? Does your creative process change when you're incorporating brands, partnerships into your music and projects?
No, because if it does, then that means the partnership is not genuine. With TikTok, what happened was I had written this song, and I was really fortunate to have a good friend, Chantilly, who every time I get a chance to, I give her love for just being very supportive of my career. And people at TikTok were looking for a song to help with the NBA Finals. I think it's around 2020. No, I'm just because it was I think is it 2020 when the Raptors won, or is it 2019?
19 was before the pandemic.
Right?
Yeah, right before.
So yeah, so it was around that period. So being a Torontonian,
Yeah, you're always big on the Toronto.
crazy, yeah. And so they used that record, and they're like, we'd like to use it for our entire TikTok campaign. And I said, great, and I didn't have to change anything, right? And then moving on to like the G-Stars, the New Eras, all those different things. Those are people first. I had these conversations with these human beings, and then it permitted me to show them who I am through those discussions. And with North Face, that came about a little bit the same way. I wrote a song that just happened to be called North Face, and it had to do with, how where I come from, a lot of people wear North Face coats, like, cold winters, all these different things. And symbolically, it also represents the walls we put up growing up in the projects.
Only this guy will find like a deeper symbolism to North Face.
I don't know if it's just me, but it's more so, and often North Face has a history with hip hop that's been documented but not been expressed, and you have people that exploit this palette of the visual asset of like a North Face coat on someone and how it looks, and from like the 90s to where we are now, and in streetwear, accessories or technicality is a huge thing when it comes to clothing.
Yeah.
And so for me, I've always been a fan of the North Face, and I figured that song was a great way to represent the song that brand was a great way to represent the song I was trying to put out. And a lady by the name of Alexandra Desjardins hit me up and showed me a lot of love, and since then they've just been rocking with me.
Listen, man, the code, Rick, you got the code on the video? The code look at me, boy.
This is a special edition.
No, obviously. I would think homeboy from New York got some rolls on the side. See, that's why I don't do the two-tone North Face, because you guys killed it. I am good with the McMurdo. I like the pockets right here. I like my coat to be long. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
As a black artist, do you feel that there's a specific responsibility you carry when it comes to representing your culture, your community, through your music? How do you kind of navigate that line between self-expression and being a voice for the people? If you even see yourself as a voice of the people.
Absolutely. I do, and I don't need to be required to be a voice to see myself as a voice. I have a child who's going to be able to see me as, a black voice for her in her life. And in addition to that, I'm very critical of that aspect. I don't see myself obviously as black first. I see myself as Congolese first. Then before being Congolese, I see myself as an Israelite first. And so those aspects of my life are very important. They're all intertwined. So for me to create music and not assume that there is a audience that's seeing me as a black leader or a black artist or creative would be ignorant of me.
Yeah.
So I don't dismiss that responsibility. But also don't put the pressure on myself because I'm black.
Listen,
Like,
he's just living in his truth.
like I don't have to put a title on who I am as a
I'm waiting
as a
for the
black
book.
person. You know?
I'm waiting for the PK book.
I don't know if I'll ever have a book, man.
Listen,
Maybe like digital. Like I already started like digital recordings, like digital diaries, but I don't think I'll ever like do a book.
Either way, they're gonna read it.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaving that to like my family for sure.
You answered my next question a little bit. It was my last question. You answered a little bit about fatherhood, but I want to say this: me being your friend, I'm happy for you,
thank
man.
you so much,
How has
man.
fatherhood kind of changed? I know sleepless nights is a lot
No,
of
that's
them.
not true. No, not for us.
Oh,
not for
okay.
us. My daughter is extremely good. And she just doesn't like her crib, so she sleeps on me. And as a father, you know, you see, and obviously, you know, I'm married, so seeing my wife kind of go through that 9-month process of having this baby, or a little bit less than 9 months, and being able to like give her the rest while this baby rests on me is like really cool, you know. And I'm just trying to do my part. I had great parents regardless of family issues and all that stuff, and I'm really thankful that family is important to me. And I've been waiting to be a dad. Like that's like I made it. Like nothing else matters to me now. Like I have my faith, I have my marriage, I have my child, and my responsibilities are fulfilled, you know. So yeah.
So from a creative standpoint, from a business standpoint, what's next for PK?
A piece of me was gonna say I can't tell you.
Everybody always tell us that, but give me a little bit. Give me a little
Yeah,
bit.
like right now I'm working on releasing these 2 last mixtapes before I take a little bit of a hiatus.
Please make sure we get that.
Of
joint.
course. I'm songwriting for a couple of artists who I won't name just for legal reasons. And then just going back into doing more music for like Netflix and TV and stuff. Like right now, me and Lionel have a really good run, and I like the way we're dealing with, you know, these agencies that like take our music, and just working on some North Face stuff, man.
Finally, an artist that gets it. Everybody want to be on YouTube.
Yo, he's been dodging this interview for like 4 years. Like he's my friend.
But
friend.
it's a compilation of trial and error.
Movies,
Oh,
those
don't
are the
listen.
goals. Those are the
Shonda
goals.
remembers when we
That's
did
where the
basic
bag
bullshit
is.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where the bag is. That's
It
where
is.
the longevity is.
Exactly. But I get it. My thing is people have to experience like the death of their ego before they see that, you know, because for me, like I understand the mechanics of like the business, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people want to be in the industry. I care little to nothing for the music industry. Like I care about the music business, and that's why I've been fortunate enough to make certain decisions that permit me to have some type of success. Like, so, you know, me, like I bought a house, and it's like a lot of the artists that are bigger than me on optics, like they're still trying to, you know, and it's like, listen, insurance is not a joke, man. I'm just gonna say that, like,
That's like being you true, you know. We trying to school
talk,
the community.
If I could teach anything right now, it's like people talk about like jewelry and stuff. Like, one, invest in your life insurance, invest in your insurance in general. That's where the money's at. You're protecting yourself as an asset. Record labels treat artists as assets every time. When you sign that contract, you are an asset. You're a commodity to them, you know. And a lot of artists don't know that because they care about the industry. And so anyone can pop off on social media or pop, like, but what are you doing in real life? And for me, I learned that really early, and I'm very fortunate. So a lot of my contributions are to the community, you know. And it's nice. I'd be a hypocrite to say it's not nice to have the motion on social media, because that is the platform that essentially permits the world to see where you're at, right? But what you show is what people see, and I just don't care too much for people to see everything I do. And
listen, I'm happy you're my friend. I'm happy you're my friend. I know you a little bit. I know a little bit. But listen, man, thank you so much for doing the show. So do I even ask you to give out the social medias? I know you're not really about that.
I mean,
Rick, make sure you got the video.
Google.
Google Patrik Kabongo. You can follow me on all social media platforms at X10PK. And if if I could say anything else, is thank you, man.
No, thank you
Seriously,
for your time,
thank
man.
you. Such a pleasure.
Now,
Such a
anytime we
pleasure.
sit down, we need to bring back basic bullshit, man. We need to bring that back, man. Munch
Blake.
on my city. Keep it locked. We got more music, more interviews, man. It's the best every morning show in the country. The Morning Detour, Moon Chaser, Vita. You know how we do things.
The Morning Detour.